Now I am discussing about organizational performance targets. Setting organizational performance targets is a natural sequel to the implementation of the performance measurement system. If an organization were to decide to measure performance against the number of clients served in a year, then it would not be surprising if the organization were to establish a target related to that measure. The organization might set a target, say, service provided to 50,000 clients in 2021. Now the target, together with presumably a number of others, would become a basis for assessing the quality of performance of the organization as a whole or of a unit within the organization, even a particular employees. The implementation of the setting up of performance target is the failure to meet the target implies a substandard performance unless satisfactory explanation can be provided as to why the target was not met. So performance targeting, it has an important place in the organizational's manager's tool. So there is no reason to doubt that when used properly, targeting can make a positive contribution to the organizational performance. However, the assumption that organization will indeed make proper use of performance organizations is not always well founded. Designers of performance targeting schemes, if they wish to add value to their organizational performance, must bear in mind the limitations of performance targeting and the potential of targeting schemes to cause significant and unintended preserved outcomes. Experience has shown that when targeting schemes are not carefully designed and implemented, the risk causing more harm than good. Now, what are the hazards in performance target? Cheating, biased manipulation, outright fabrication of performance data in order to create an appearance that targets are being met. It is a common phenomenon. This arises the question of the need for external validation of reporting against performance targets. Experience from the different countries and different companies reveal that a significant variation in government departments how the progress against target is reported. Not surprisingly, departments have found to be more forthcoming about targets that have been met than about those where slippage has occurred. Some organizations are therefore well advised to provide for independent validation of internal reporting against performance targets. Now, blaming. There is a marked tendency for organizations, especially in the public sector, to regard performance measurement system as a basis for finding fault and laying blame, rather the basis for organizational learning. This has proven to be a major obstacle to successful implementation of the performance targeting schemes. Performance targets are unlikely to have meaningful positive impact on organizational performance when the corporate culture emphasizes fault finding over learning. Grouping in the dark is not uncommon for organizations set performance targets without first assessing the practices of implementing the system for performance monitoring. Targets may be set in the absence of adequate information, like What constitutes a reasonable target figure? The availability or cost of obtaining data required to monitor performance in relation to targets. The level of administrative effort likely to be considerable. It may be required in order to support the performance monitoring system. Now, the implementation for designers of performance targeting schemes is the practical issue must be assessed up front at the time when targets are being selected. Now, what are the guidelines of performance measurement? Process improvement. Throughout the implementation of the performance management system, there is span from months to years. There is a need to constantly focus on the critical goals that can bring visible progress and enhancement. Otherwise, there is a tendency for busy employees to lose sight of the ultimate objective of performance measurement and treat the implementation as a mere data collection exercise for management. Teams must create measures that support their mission, or they will not be fully exploit their ability to perform the process faster and more responsive. In addition, to remain competitive and relevant, measures need to be continually reviewed and revised as the environment and economy changes. Now, employee involvement. A truly empowered team must play to lead the role in designing its own measurement system, as it will know best what sort of measurement it needs to align with the organizational strategy. This empowerment should not be limited to the management level or the finance department, but extend it to every single individual in the organization. Everyone contributes its own performance measurement system, so everyone is a part of it. Reportable. There is no value for measurement that it cannot be put into the simple and clear report. Measurement must focus on most the critical items and not sacrifice quality and quantity. Too much measurement may mean the teams end up spending too much time in collecting data, monitoring their activities, and not enough time to manage the project outcome. For instance, a car is driven in a city. There are big meters on the dashboard that indicate the speed, now amount of fuel, engine temperature, and so on. So they are sufficient for one to get from a place to another safely. We do not want engineers to spend time in designing dashboards that crowd us with unnecessary technical information, such as atmosphere pressure, airflow speed, engine exhaust, noise level, etc. So a well-implemented performance measurement system should eventually be a tool that allows consistent language to be used within the organization. So it should allow a different individual to trace their measurement to the management and organizational goals, or allow different departments to cross-reference their priorities and targets using the same language. Forward-looking. Financial measurements that often record past accounting numbers. A good performance measurement system should also capture its relevance to the organization vision, validate its strategies, and chart new directions. It should not be dwell in the past, but focus on the measurement that impact on future deliverables. Unfortunately, enduring goals require more effort, and many organizations prefer to focus on initiatives that promise short-term financial results, even though other initiatives may have higher long-term payoffs. A possible reason is the increasing competitiveness and high staff turnover. This builds a culture of short-term permanent employment where employees do not foresee themselves to stay on with any organization long enough to see any long-term plans bear fruit. One possible solution for such long-term goal, which cannot be realized for many years, is identify meaningful output-oriented milestones that lead to achieving a long-term outcome. Now, optimization, will improvement in one area of the organization be achieved at an expense to other? No. If it does so, how much sacrifice or risk should be the organization take? The performance measurement system should cover a comprehensive range of measures and offer perspectives that provide an understanding of cause and effect relationship to rearrange resources or priorities effectively. This usually requires a balance of financial and non-financial measures. For example, should a manufacturer delay production deadline because a new supplier is coming with cheaper alternatives to save the cost? Or should an estate investor forego the stringent time-consuming regulatory and compliance checks before making the hard time-sensitive deal that has the potential to bring in millions in profit? So, this is the optimizing technique, which one to be made possible for the organization's performance measurement. Should they wait or should they commit at the right time? What is realistic? The measure agreed by the employer and employee have to be ambitious and challenging, and at the same time be realistic and attainable. Too little means employees fall into complacency. Too much means they start to rebel or leave. So this requires a careful balance between the manager's call and responsibility. If there is disagreement, management commitment. Before anything can be done, senior managers need to buy into the change management philosophy and adopt the performance-based management principles. There must be management endorsed at a company-wide level to ensure consistency with other existing initiatives, such as cross-functional integration, customer-supplier partnership, continuous improvement, and team rather than individual accountability. So the focus should be on the strategy and vision and not day-to-day operational controls. Managers should dictate strategic goals, ensure each team understands how its job fit into the strategy, and provide training so that team can devise its own measures. So the ownership and accountability for performance remain with the teams, and managers should allow the teams to decide which measure will best help them perform their jobs. Managers should not make the mistake of thinking that they know what is best for the team. If they do, they have crossed the line, returned back to the command and control ways, and rendered their empowered teams powerless. So performance management is often confused with the performance appraisal, that latter only forming the final part of the performance management cycle. So performance appraisal is backward looking and lagging indicator of financial performance, only measuring the what happened in the past. However, performance management is looking forward process and leading indicator of financial performance because it drives a system or organization toward a future desired goal. Thank you.